Okay, so today I continue with our class Laws of Yom Tov. We start with Sefer Chofetz Chaim, Sefer Shmiras Haloshon, and the topic is a protective fence. The best medicine of all is silence. Okay, as we said, it's from Megillah 18a. A protective fence for the wisdom is silence. Perkei Avos 3:17. Silence is good for the wise and surely for the unwise. One should guard his tongue like an apple of his eye. For one's mouth can be a source of the ruination, and the movements of his lips can endanger his soul. Thus it is written, one who guards his mouth and tongue guards his soul from tribulation. From Mishlei 21:23. Okay, so let's read it again and explain. The best medicine of all is silence. So we already proved it many times, right? Medicine is silence. So you don't get involved. You don't answer people, right? A protective fence for wisdom is silence. From Perkei Avos 3:17, and one of the explanation there was protective fence over the wisdom. So let's if you know that somebody is wiser than you in the room, so it's proper not to talk. So let them talk. You just listen, right? You just listen. From the wisdom is silence. Silence is good for the wise and surely for the unwise. Right, very interesting. One should guard his tongue like the apple of his eye, meaning not to talk. For the one's mouth can be a source of ruination, so you said something to the wrong person, right? And the movements of his lips can endanger his soul. Thus it is written, one who guards his mouth and tongue guards his soul from tribulation. Okay, so it's from Mishlei. Okay, better to be told speak while you're quiet, than for others to find one's prattling burdensome and ask him to be silent. Okay, so it's very interesting, right? So it says better for one to be told to speak, so answer when why are you quiet, right? So even though they ask you a question, so many times people are not interested in answer, right? They just throw out the question, right? Okay, and the others find right. Then the others find one's prattling burdensome and ask for it to be silent. So people talk non-stop, right? I understand when the children talk. I understand it. But when grown up, especially grown men talk, it was like. Still surprises me. Okay, especially when you hear what they're talking about, that's even worse. Okay, the scripture states, "From that which lies within your bosom, there's your soul. Guard the portrayals of your mouth." It's from Micha 7:5. The use of the term portrayals is referring to the mouth, and the mouth is instructive. Reference to the mouth is instructive, meaning to keep quiet. An entrance to the house must be open when necessary, but cannot be left open all day and all night. Very interesting, right? So you have a door, okay, you need to get in, you open, but most of the time it must be closed, right? So same with the mouth. So to do so would mean to leave the house open to thieves. Similarly, one cannot allow his mouth to be open indiscriminately, right? So just because you decided to open. Okay, it's very interesting. So a person's most prized possession are usually kept in a special vault, hidden in weight in the inner room and carefully guarded. As the man's most prized function, the power of speech, must be guarded with a great care, and it is a great protection is the quality of silence. So this piece, let's read one more time and explain. A person's most prized possession are usually kept in a special vault, right? So wherever you're trying to, whatever is your prized possession, you try to hide it. Why? Because you're afraid maybe it's going to get ruined, maybe it's going to get stolen, right? So somebody's going to steal it, right? Hidden away in a room and carefully guarded. And the man's prize function, right? What is the man's prize function? The power of speech, right? The power of speech is especially for the Jews. Call Yaakov, right? The voice of Yaakov. The power of speech must be guarded with a great care, and it is great protection, and it's great protection in the quality of silence, right? Right? How you protect your speech and quality of silence. But when you need to talk Torah, when you need to discuss things, and right, so you must speak as much as need to, right? So today we tried to learn some Talmud. It was a difficult passage, so we had to go back and forth. I don't know how many times, many times, 3, 4, 5, 6 times. I don't know. I don't understand. Yeah. Okay, so we stop here. Any questions on what we said? Well, it was pretty clear, I think. Okay. So we're on chapter 8, I think we're closer to the end. Chapter 8, and our topic is grinding. And we're on a summary of the laws. Okay, so summary of the laws, and we're going, and practical application. So we're going to review whatever we said before. I think it was it took us like 3 classes to finish it. Very big topic. Okay, so part number 4, summary of the laws. Melach of grinding. Grinding is halachically defined as a breaking down large objects into very small pieces, whether by grinding, shredding, grating, chopping, crumbling, cutting, or dicing. Okay, so one more time. So the basic idea, again, it's like for us to remember, from you reduce something from big pieces into the small pieces. Okay. So one more time, grinding is halachically defined breaking down large object into very small pieces. So very small pieces. A classic example is a flour, right? So you have a grain and you grind it and you get the flour. But all others, of course, they have much bigger pieces. When you whether by grinding, so you get a grinder, right? Or shredding, of course, it's not flour, much bigger pieces than flour, but still it's like talada, right? Like a branch out. Right, shredding, grating, so grating for sure, also bigger pieces. Chopping, so chopping is, I guess, with a knife. Okay, of course, people can chop very finely, but even a little bigger pieces also chopping. Crumbling, so crumbling, we said cookies or something, a piece of bread. Right, even cookies in a piece of nachala, it would be exception because we said there is no grinding after grinding, since it was grinded once in order to make a flour and then baked. So when you grind second time, there is no problem. Right, crumbling, cutting, and dicing. Okay. Continue. The prohibition applies only to the products of the earth, such as fruits and vegetables. Right. So remember, only grinded apply only to something that grows from the ground. Okay, fruits and vegetables. Inedible products of the earth, such as clay, are also subject of this prohibition. So, inedible products, but since it is not product of the earth, it is earth itself. Clay, like we gave example, a piece of mud that got stuck to somebody's pants or a boots, right? And that let's say it's dried up. Right, so if you have this piece of mud, right, so you're not allowed to crumble it, right, when you remove it, right? Why? Like when you remove when it's dried up, when you try to remove it, it's going to like turn it into the sand or something, right? So which is would be 100% grinding, not allowed. When it's wet, there is no problem because you can take off the whole chunk. There is no problem. Okay. Continue. Meat, poultry, fish, eggs, and cheese are not subject of this prohibition of grinding, meaning that you can chop in very small pieces if need to, or grind, or grate usually, right? Cheese. Okay. Second section, grinding on Yom Tov. Okay, so we did the definition. Now we're doing the grinding on Yom Tov. Non-foods may not be ground. Non-foods may not be ground at all on Yom Tov. Non-foods. I don't remember what example this. I mean, non-foods. Okay, this piece of mud that got stuck to the boots. Okay, continue. With respect to the foods, the following rules apply. Right? A. Foods that are normally ground on a large scale, such as flour, may not be ground at all on Yom Tov. So, okay. So, personally, I would not have another example. I would not know another example beside the flour. I mean, okay. So basically, we're not allowed to grind on the flour. But today, as we said, it's not. It's also not such a easy question because many people, like especially in nowadays, people try to go healthy and healthy food, and they buy the small meals when they can. Most of them electric. That's the problem, I guess. But I guess you can do the same with a hand mill as well, right? So usually those on a small scale. So maybe for one baking or something, right? Maybe for you want to bake on 1 hour. Okay. Right, and somehow they say that this flour you must keep in the refrigerator. It's very interesting also that you ground yourself. I think they add something for preservative, but I'm not sure what is it. Doesn't matter. Okay, so ground on a large scale. Since it's usually done on a large scale, we're not allowed to do it even on a small scale. Okay. B. 3 groups of foods may be ground in a usual manner on Yom Tov. Okay, usual manner meaning with all of these instruments, right? On Shabbos, all of these special tools, almost in all of the situation, they would be muktzah, forbidden to do, and since there is no practical application, so it would be forbidden. Okay, so 3 cases. Number 1, foods that do not grow from the earth. However, when using grater on this type of food, a shinui must be employed unless their flavor would be deteriorate if they are ground in advance. Okay, so we said before that whatever could be done before the Yom Tov, all of the preparation, since all of this grinding, of course, it's time consuming. So we said if the flavor is not going to depart, it's irrelevant when you're going to do. I guess what would be example when you grind before. I don't know what is the example. Maybe cheese. If they decided to do cheese, like if you did or you did egg salad. So if it would stand 1 day, stay 1 day, it would not be fresh. I don't think so. Would be fresh, I think. Okay. Yeah, I think in store it can stay 10 days in. So if in your refrigerator you keep it for 1 day, what is the problem? Okay. So one more time, foods that do not grow from the ground, from the earth, right? So chicken and fish and others. However, using the grater on this type of food is a shinui must be employed. So a shinui, we said, what is a shinui? Like deviation, like upside down or something. Okay. Must be employed unless the flavor would be deteriorate if ground in advance. Meaning that you have the chance to do it before Yom Tov, but you neglect it, and now it's like some kind of punishment. I mean, it's very inconvenient to do it upside down grater. Okay. Actually, they say upside down on do it on a countertop directly, because usually you do it in a plate. So like some very inconvenience way. Number 2, foods that were previously ground and then reconstituted. Right, so I guess our cookies or matzah, right? So you have matzah and you want to grind to make a matzah meal. Okay. Number 3, foods that deteriorate if ground in advance. Right, so I think we give. I think one of the example would be a horseradish, right? So if they want the sharp. So I mean, if you do it in advance, it's going to lose its sharpness for sure. Okay. Section C. Any food that grows from the earth and will not decay or lose any of its flavor by being ground before Yom Tov, for example, nuts, should be ground before Yom Tov, right? So that's a very good example, right? I forgot completely about nuts. You grind it before Yom Tov, what is going to happen? One who did not do so may grind the foods on Yom Tov by the means of shinui. Okay, so meaning it's for the needs of Yom Tov, but it's going to be some kind of like punishment. There is one, invert the grinding implements exactly, or grind into the table rather than a plate. So then get it for all these things from the table. Of course, it's a lot of work. Okay. Continue. So bottom line. So whatever is done on a large scale, forbidden. Whatever that right, forbidden. Then we say there are three types of groups, three groups that are usually done on a Yom Tov. So first we said foods that not grown from the ground, chicken and fish and others, right? You can do it, but preferably before the Yom Tov. If on Yom Tov you do with a shinui, right? But if it could spoil the taste, of course, without shinui, you would be allowed. So second type is whatever was ground before, then reconstituted, so you can grind. There is no problem. And the third type, if it would spoil, if it not spoil, sorry, deteriorate, if you do it in advance, so also no problem. So now section C, we say that if it would not like affect this food anyhow, if you do it before the Yom Tov, and the example is nuts. So if you did not do it for whatever reason, so we allow you, because nuts are not usually done on a large scale for sure. So again, but the shinui again, like you invert the grater, like invert meaning upside down, I guess, or even if you put it on a side. I'm not sure. I never tried it. How is it convenient or inconvenient? But like for sure it is shinui, because upside down, just keep it on a handle and do like from bottom up motion. Maybe it's I don't know. It's sharp, so a person can cut himself. Also dangerous. Or just do, I guess, maybe the safest would be on do it on a table, or that depends on what exactly you grind, and maybe even on a napkin or something. But for sure not on plate as usual. In section D, a food that loses some but not all of its layer is ground ahead of time. May be ground on Yom Tov. However, shinui must be employed. right? Whatever it is. So it's not completely going to lose its flavor, but use some of the flavor. I guess most of the foods, besides the nuts, some the dry foods are going to be in this category. So they say you can do it, but with a shimmy. Okay, next one. Specialized grinding implements. When grinding is permitted on Yom Tov, specialized implements such a grater, masher. So with the masher, you also you grind in double quotes, right? And in some sense, so it was big, like large piece, and you you crush it, right? So you can use all of this on Yom Tov. In some cases, shino is required, as explained above. Okay. Tools used on a large scale grinding, such as mill, may never be used on Yom Tov, even grind in small quantities. Okay. I'm not sure what you can grind in the mill like for Yom Tov needs. I'm not sure. Okay, so I think in my mind, like it's this mill, like it's not usable on Yom Tov. There's no practical application for this, even if it would be allowed. Okay, so continue. Part number 5: practical applications. A. The following is a practical listing of foods which may be ground in a normal manner on Yom Tov, even with a grater or similar utensils. Apples, okay, for sure, apples, they are torn brown, I don't know, like 15 minutes after or 10 minutes after you finish, right? Banana, for sure, the same. Matzahs. So matzahs, as we said before, it was because it was reconstituted, right? So why do you need to grind matzahs? So you need to grind matzahs in order to bake something, pastries from that. Okay. D. Potatoes. Potatoes. I'm not sure why potatoes, like if you mash potatoes before the Yom Tov, it's going to spoil the taste, partially. I don't know. Vegetables. Okay. Vegetables, yeah, like of course it's like the fresher vegetables is better, right? So if you need to grind or like chop it or this dice it, of course it's preferable on a day off. Okay. B. The following is a partial listing of foods which may be ground in unusual manner. Cheese, right? So of course, as we said, if you grind the cheese before, grate the cheese before, there is no problem. Horseradish, of course, it's going to lose some flavor, but not all of the flavor. Pepper and other spices. Okay, pepper and other spices. Actually, like as somebody, I'm not sure in this class or in a different class, we had discussion. I don't remember like about pepper. So I said it's a huge difference. I mean, for me, it's absolutely like not even close. You take this pepper. They sell ground pepper, right? Like in the big jars, and you put them while you're cooking. You put or they sell or you grind yourself. So like this one that you grind yourself, like it starts smelling. It's unbelievable. That one is that was ground in a store. They almost lost all of this smells. I mean, it has taste, but not smell for sure. Okay, so it's a big difference. Okay, but he said, okay, meaning that you would need to do it with a shinoi. C. The following is a partial list of foods which should be ground before Yom Tov. If not ground in advance, one may ground on Yom Tov in unusual manner. So walnuts and almonds. Okay, so meaning of course nothing is going to happen to them, but in 2 days, right? Okay. So any questions on what we said? We finished with that chapter. Grinding. Okay. So we continue with next chapter, very short. And the topic is sifting. So we were discussed parts of it in the previous chapters, but now it's about sifting only. One of the melacha forbidden on Shabbos is that of merakade, sifting, right? This refers primarily to sifting flour in order to remove impurities that are in it. Sifting involves putting the flour through the sieve, and that of the larger impurities are left behind on the top of the sieve. The melacha of sifting is not restricted to flour, but applies to in all types of the fine matter, whether edible or inedible. Okay, so sifting meaning what? That you separate good from bad, right? So, but using some kind of implement, meaning that good goes through and bad stays on top, right? So we will see. So of course, flour is like a classic example, but there are other examples. Okay. Next section, sifting on Yom Tov. On Yom Tov, the melacha of sifting is sometimes forbidden and sometimes permitted. This depends on whether the item being sifted is one that is usually sifted in a large quantity for extended use. Okay. So the flour is, as we said, it's the best example. So meaning here, sometimes it's allowed, sometimes it is not allowed, based on the item. So when it says a large quantity, small quantity, meaning based on the item. Items that are customarily sifted in large quantities may not be sifted on Yom Tov, whereas items customarily sifted in small amounts for that day use may be sifted on Yom Tov. Okay, so we'll need to see the example. Thus, for example, it is forbidden to sift flour on Yom Tov because flour is usually sifted in a large quantity and stored. Okay, that's clear. It is permitted, however, to filter ground coffee, since this is commonly done on a daily basis. Okay, so on Shabbos it would not be permitted. Ground coffee. I guess. I mean, it depends on the like coffee maker would be forbidden in general. To make no, but it would be because of the cooking. Here because of the filter. Okay, so let's see. Okay, so on Yom Tov at least, right? This sifting flour is forbidden. But you see, sifting flour, my wife does the cooking, so I see she never does in order to store. Because why? Because sometimes, and we had it few times already. I don't know how many times we had it, but for sure a few times. When there was some bugs in the flour, right? I think that they say they develop in the flour or whatever. So it's not like that from the it's not only from the factory stuff like that. I mean, I don't know how they develop, but we had to throw a few times, and it's not completely, right? So we were using for sometimes maybe 1/3 we used. And then she said there are live bugs, so we had to throw out. You understand? So to do it more than for one time baking, so and without checking again, it's very dangerous. Maybe if you start baking a second time, a few weeks later, maybe there are bugs. You develop bugs. You never know, right? So, but we go according to the books, not but what I'm trying to say, practically, we never do for storage. So whatever we need for one time, we just do for one time. It is permitted, however, to filter ground coffee, since this is commonly done on a daily basis. Okay. Continue. Resifting flour. Since the flour used today comes highly refined and does not need sifting for common impurities, it is permitted to resift the flour to remove any insects from it. Okay, here we go. Insects, right? So sometimes it's dead insects, but it's scary, right? Okay, so it's very interesting. So he said that since it was sifted before, very fine. So in olden days they were, I guess, sifting to remove this chaff or something. Right? Today there is no chaff. Continue. However, one must comply with general rule that whether it is possible to do melacha before the Yom Tov with equal results, one must indeed do it then. So as we said before many times, it's proper to cook everything before Yom Tov. Okay. Failing this, one may do the melacha on Yom Tov only in unusual manner. Sifting in unusual manner, I'm not sure how. I mean, okay. Like, as we said, upside down. This is one, thus, if one could have resifted the flour before Yom Tov, but did not do so, may resift it on Yom Tov only in a usual manner. For example, he should turn over the sifter, right? Turn over, and pour the flour, and through the undersides of the sifter, rather from its top. So I mean, it's very, very inconvenient. Or he should let the flour fall into the table. I think this is more practical. Like in my mind, this is more practical. Fall into the table or countertop rather than into the bowl. I mean, I like this approach better with other grinding as well. Meaning, when I say I like, meaning it's like more safer, I guess, and less messy. Flour that has already been sifted may also be sifted again in order to make it fluffier. So that's a second reason, of course, but first to remove impurity, but second to make it fluffier. This too is permitted on Yom Tov only if the sifting is done in an unusual manner. Okay, so we finished with that. But in my mind, like when do you have time? Like for example, the schedule on Yom Tov in my shul, so we start at 9. So for me to start at 9, I have to get up at 7 minimum, right, to prepare everything. So right, no, 8:45 they start, right? Not 9. Then you come home, then you eat this and that, so you finish like, I don't know, like 12:31 after 1, let's say 1:30. So then the next mincha is going to be 6 p.m. Like when exactly you have all of this time for cooking, and right? And it says you're only allowed to cook for this day unless she gets up at 3 in the morning and start cooking. Yeah, I would understand. But otherwise, it does not make sense, all of these things, when exactly they have time, right? Okay, any questions, or we continue?
Hello?
Yes, I have a question.
There's a question on board. It says, Shalom Kolav, if one grind or sift food that could have been done before Yom Tov, but forgot to do it in a shinui, is he permitted still eat the food?
Yes, yeah, after the fact, yes. So, because it's all rabbinical, and it's like a part of the punishment. In some cases, we're going to see the punishment. Is there on Yom Tov such a punishment? On Yom Tov, it's punishment when a person was preparing. For example, just I see where the person was going with that. For example, person did something forbidden on Yom Tov, and it was like for preparation for a weekday. They cooked something, so they're not allowed to eat it like right after the Yom Tov ends or Shabbos ends. The time that it takes to cook this food from the beginning, right? So somebody brought you a cake that they cook on Shabbos, for example. So you're not allowed to derive any benefit from this cake that until the time after Shabbos pass that it takes to cook this, to bake this cake. And some cakes you have to. I'm not an expert, but from what my wife is saying, you have to like put it in a refrigerator. This dough for this hours, that hours. Some dough, some bread that she makes, it takes. So I have to say that have to place an order. If I want to eat specific bread, I have to say 1 day in advance minimum, because it takes 18 hours to make this bread. So you understand. So not everything just mix. Take some flour, mix water, and that's it. No, it's not true. So and same as cakes. They put a dough in the refrigerator. It has to stay 1 hour, 2 hours, cool down. That you take back, and it has to stay on countertop. It's all big deal, right? So that's why there is some kind of punishment. But in this case, there is no punishment. It's not proper, but it's not proper. Okay. Any other questions?
Hold on.
Yes, go ahead.
So would powdered sugar be considered something that is used in large quantities and therefore not permitted to be sifted on Yom Tov, or?
I don't think so. Usually people, but why would you need to sift this powdered sugar? Just asking. I just don't know.
Yes, to put on top, to spread some of it on top of the cakes, some cakes.
Oh, but you sift in and you do the same act, right? The way I understand, no? Or
yeah. We just kind of pat the thing,
on the cake itself, or you would do it in a bowl, for example, and take from bowl and then sprinkle on the cake.
No, we sprinkle on top of the cake.
Okay, so that's not a problem. So it's for sure it's not that's how I understood. Yeah, this for sure there is no problem whatsoever with that, because it's not done in order to store. You do exactly on the cake. So whatever you need, you finish, and you pour back into your container. That's it. So that's very good example. Okay. I did not know. I mean, I realized that they have to sprinkle somehow to make it even, to use some implement. It's very good, but I never knew how to do that. Okay. Very interesting. Any other questions before we continue?
Thank you, Rabbi.
Okay. Cool. So let's do one more, and the topic is kneading. Lisho. One of the 39 hours milachas, lisho, kneading. Kneading is defined as binding together small particles, for example, flour, by means of binding agent, for example, water, to form one mass. While the most common case of kneading is making dough, there are many other examples of this milacha, such as mixing baby cereal with milk to form porridge. So kneading is when you take some dry articles, right? Whatever is it, not dry, like small particles, and you add some liquid, whatever is it. Another example would be long time, many years ago. Like I would eat for breakfast because I needed something hot in my office. So I would eat this, oatmeal, instant oatmeal, right? So you put the oatmeal in your cup, disposable cup. It was like the the quickest food to make. Was very, very like nutritious, and it was hot, right? And so, and you put hot water, you cover it, and you have this this mixture, this oatmeal. So this is exactly what is forbidden on Shabbos, and it's for sure it's like this dough. Okay, it's not like a dough, but you have like dry particles, add liquid, and the mixture is one mass. So you cannot tell one mass, meaning that you cannot tell the difference between the oatmeal and the water. That's it. Okay, they combine. Same with dough. Kneading on Yom Tov. So, but on Yom Tov, of course, as we said, if you're allowed to bake, so of course you would be allowed to do these mixtures. There are exceptions, but they're generally allowed. Kneading the foods is by definition an act of food preparation, and is therefore subject to general permission to perform melachas of a hel nefesh on Yom Tov. Okay, so it's that's how you prepare food. As with all melachas, it can be done prior to Yom Tov, without any loss of flavor. One is required to do it then. Okay. So, but I guess my oatmeal you would not do it in advance. So you want to cut. Okay. If one neglected to do it before Yom Tov, he must do this in unusual manner on Yom Tov. Okay. So see the Shabbos Kitchen, page 149 for description of unusual manner of kneading. So unusual manner of kneading, right? Just to create this parallel to Shabbos as we usually do, right? The process of kneading consists of two stages. So first stage is when you combine the elements. So you combine dry particles and liquid. And second one is when you actually mix, right? So the shinoi would be in the first stage, right? How you combine the elements. So you usually you put something dry first in a container, right? And then you add liquid. That's it, how people usually do. So in this case, the shinoi, in this case, in Yom Tov, the shinoi would be opposite. So first you pour liquid, and then you add dry things, right? And plus the second shinoi is in mixing. So if it's a loose mixture, so it's like loose mixture meaning you can pour. So it's not a dough. So dough, something like a dough-like is like a dough as we know in order to bake, but also dough like a little loose and not so thick, but it's not going to pour like from a cup, right? So if it's like very liquidy, I'm talking about Shabbos only here, right? Just not to confuse anybody. If it's very liquidy, so one step is enough, right? So if you pour water, right, in a container, you add your dry particle, you mix. That's it. So liquidy, it's not considered to be dough. But if it would be more like on like a thicker side, like more doughish, not dough, but like liquidy, right? So you would need to do shinoi with how you combine the elements and how the mix. So the mix you would do with another side of the spoon, like back of the spoon, or with a knife, or with a finger, like something like what you don't usually do. Okay. Just a quick recap what we do on Shabbos. However, in most cases, the food mixture loses some flavor if prepared a day in advance, and therefore one may do the kneading on Yom Tov in a usual fashion. Okay, so let's see the practical application. A. Kneading a dough. It is permitted to mix flour and water or other liquids to knead the dough on Yom Tov. Okay. That's a straightforward classic case, right? B, instant potatoes. So on Shabbos, this instant potatoes would never be allowed, right? Why? Because instant potatoes is one of these products that there is no shinoi. There is no shinoi for the first step, because as soon, and same with this what is it? It's oatmeal. As soon as you pour like it's like I don't know what the add what the instant potatoes or the, but because it's so like liquid thirsty, it started absorbing right away. So even like a few drops on top, it's going to be absorbed and already it's going to be mixed. And same with what is it with the oatmeal. Instant oatmeal. The regular oatmeal, like old style, it's nothing's going to happen. But is instant potatoes, it's oatmeal, so there is no like a what is it? Deviation, unless you pour a lot of water right away, a lot. Okay, so instant potatoes. It is permitted to make instant potatoes on Yom Tov. And that's a good idea to have on, especially on Pesach, to have this pack of instant potatoes just in case, right? Because there is like a limit of foods what we can eat. Not so many foods are available on Pesach, so this instant potatoes it's number one. Okay, and next one, a baby cereal. Any type of the cereal may be prepared on Yom Tov. Whether it's thick pastry mixture or loose pastry mixture or loose liquidy one. Okay. So let me see one more. Let me read one more time. We're going to explain. Any type of the cereal may be prepared on Yom Tov. Cereal meaning like hot cereal, not like cereal like you eat with milk. Right? Because there is no mixture, there's no problem whatsoever. Whether it is thick, so thick, it's like this oatmeal. So some babies, like some children, they require this thicker mixture, right? Pasty mixture. Pasty meaning it's not as thick, but it's not going to flow. So it would be in Yom Tov, in Shabbos it would be in I guess a biblical closer to biblical restriction, or a loose meaning loose mixture, meaning that you can pour from your spoon, from your cup, right? Milk and liquidy one. Okay, loose. Okay, continue. D, eggs and tuna salad. Chopped eggs and tuna salad may be combined with oil or mayonnaise and be mixed in a normal manner. But on Shabbos there is a problem, right? So just well, what is the problem on Shabbos? So you have your egg salad and you put this mayonnaise, so that there is no mixture, right? One sit on top of the other because the mayonnaise is so thick, right? So the only shino you should do is when you're mixing them up, right? So it's the only one. But okay, have to be careful. I always say try to do all the salads, especially with mayo. Do it before the holiday is no problem, but before the Yom Tov. Okay, so next one. Denture paste. It is permitted on Yom Tov to sprinkle false teeth with a special powder that makes them adhere firmly to the palate. Even though doing so creates a paste, and is therefore considered kneading. So of course it's not edible, this part is not edible, but we should not know that, but for some people that's a very, very practical halacha, right? That is dentures with false teeth. right? They're not attached completely. They remove them and they wash them and stuff like that, right? But in order for them to stick to the palate, they have to this powder. It's like a baby powder or something, right? And it's not, but in the form of baby powder. And then it getting mixed with the saliva, and it's get adhered to the palate. Okay. So no problem on Yom Tov. I think there is also no problem on Shabbos because one of the reasons it's not food, and it's not forget about even the food issue. The thing is there is no other way for them to eat, right? It's like for these people pikuach nefesh. So basically without food, without the teeth, they would not be able to eat. So it's very, very dangerous. Okay. Any questions on what we said or we did not say? We stop here. Next chapter is very long. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. Sorry.
Thank you. We have a question on the board. It says, I wonder if mixing tiny chopped fruit with yogurt count as kneading.
Say again. What was it like? I got the yogurt part.
Tiny chopped fruits. Tiny
chopped fruit? No, it's not. No, it's not. It's not. You see, you still. It's yogurt. It's a very good question because on one hand it became one mass. It will become somehow. I want to say no, but it's a good question. Why is it not? Let's put it aside because it's a very good question. And in some sense, I'm just thinking out loud. It mixes completely. So and of course you would see these chunks through the yogurt. There is no problem, right? But same with oatmeal, right? Oatmeal is a perfect example, right? You see also pieces, right?
Hello?
Yes, go ahead.
So does that depend on the thickness of the yogurt,
Yes,
perhaps?
yeah, on final product, not yogurt, final product. So when you mix flour, right, with water is very liquidy, right? But together they become the final product. Of course, that depends on like how much water you're going to add, but it could be very thick. Yes.
Thank you, Rabbi.
You're welcome. So yogurt is, I also eat yogurt sometimes. Is it liquidy? Like, so whatever I eat is not liquidy. It's like you can I buy like a bigger containers and then I put some like a little to my cup. So I never pour from this container into cup. I will have to take a spoon and put it in my cup. So it's not liquid. It's very pretty thick mixture. I aware there is like liquid yogurts, but this is not. I mean, whatever I eat is not liquid. For sure not. And whatever you add to this kind of yogurt, some people add cookies, whatever they eat, or as we said, these pieces of fruits. So it could be like a dough. Could be forbidden, yes.
Okay.
Yes, go ahead.
So, for example, what I do is when I mix like fruit or perhaps like, I don't know, blueberries or something with Greek yogurt, which is very thick, I sometimes add some honey, and honey has like a very acidic pH, and that thing kind of turns the yogurt into more like liquidish. Would that be permitted?
no fruits. There is no problem with what we discussed before is a tiny. The way I understood the question, tiny pieces of fruits. For example, if you're talking about this your Greek yogurt and you take a strawberry, for example, and you cut it in half and you put it in yogurt, it's no problem whatsoever. You cut bananas in slices, right? And put it, there is no problem. We're talking about small particles, right? That combine with the liquid and mix one mass. But like pieces of raw blueberry, if you put the whole blueberry, it's not one mass. It's blueberry inside of the yogurt. Understand? So that's not a problem. So the best example, like to always to go back and compare to this this flour and water, like dough. Dough is the best example. And second, I would say this oatmeal. Also, like one mass. But yogurt in a big, like blueberry or like this strawberry, like a cut in half or a quarters or whatever, like big pieces you cut, it's not. There is no problem.
Thank you, Rabbi.
You're welcome. And two other examples, just so we understand, the two other examples that he gave, but he just gave it in passing was this egg salad, right? And another famous example is tuna salad. So tuna, yeah, but when you take from the can, right? So it's in chunks, these pieces, but once you start like mixing with mayo, it becomes one mass. That's it. Or egg salad. So I mean, if you, of course, you chop it finely, and when you add mayo, it's one mass. Okay, go ahead.
Thank you, Rabbi.
You're welcome.
There's this technique in cuisine that is called like roux or something like that. That would kind of throw a bunch of flour and some butter into the pan. We start like mixing it until we make like a paste.
Mm-hmm.
And this thing is used to like thicken sauces, most of it.
Mm-hmm.
So I was wondering, this is like, is this permitted? It becomes like a paste or?
I mean, on Yom Tov, I guess it would be permitted, yes. So since, as you said, it's for cooking, it's like intermediate space, stage, yes, it would be on Yom Tov for allowed. But on Shabbos, since there is no cooking, so there is nothing to like. There is no question to begin with.
Thank you, Rabbi.
You're welcome.
So I have another question on the board. It says, question about Shmiras Haloshon.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if silence is a desirable trait in marriage. Should one also speak less when it's not Torah towards one spouse?
Okay, so maybe a woman toward the wife, to the husband, yes, but man toward the woman is not always, right? So because the men and women are made very differently, as we know, right? For men, for example, if they drive in a car, right? There is no problem for men to just to keep quiet. Unless there is like talkative person, right? Like they cannot shut his mouth. But if he sees, for example, I'm driving, he's sitting there, so I'm trying to concentrate on the road. There is a traffic, this and that. I'm trying to be careful. I don't want to talk. I want to be left alone, and that's it, right? Usually I'll listen to the classes. So even with passengers, I have my headphones. I have a button. So I listen to the classes, and they want to talk to me. I have to put on mute, but otherwise I listen. But so for men there is no problem. Many many times. But for women, so if for women, like if there is a silence, so it's like a tense, and for them it's like you punishing them. For many women, not all of them, okay, with that generalized, but for many women, there is a problem, right? And even sometimes I had to drive my mother somewhere, so she's okay. 15 minutes, 10 minutes she can get quiet, and then she like she's nervous, like I upset with her. No, I said absolutely not. I mind my own business. I just listen to the class. Okay, we discuss everything we need to discuss, where to go, the plan. We're going to go there to the office. I have to take you, whatever the case is. Understand? So I mean. There is only so much limit to my conversation. That's it. Understand? So I keep quiet, but sometimes she gets nervous. So my wife always tell me, have to come up with a subject, like topics, like of course not some topics to keep her occupied, right? To let her know that we love you. Everything is good. We're talking to you. It's not like we're trying to avoid it, but for her, it's very different. You understand? So same with the wife. So if a man treats with a silence with his wife, that's a problem. So I get tell you the truth. I get sometimes reminders from my wife, and she said, "Why you so quiet? Why you not talking?" I said, "What are you talking? Like I'm doing, like I'm busy with things. Like why should I talk?" But sometimes she thinks also that I'm upset. I'm not upset. But for men, I mean that's normal. So it's very very important. So it's on sorry, apologize, on an individual basis. So I'm like, even in my family, they know me for so many years, and sometimes they think that I'm upset. I'm not. I'm not angry with anybody. I'm not upset. I'm just minding my own business. That's it. Understand? But women different. So a wife needs for husband to talk. So okay, so talk is when you're around, and then try not to be around too much as well. Talk less, because all of these conversations. Okay, with my mother, it depends how long I have to take her. I don't know, what I'm going to talk to her. Okay, I'm going to tell her Dvar Torah, this and that, but discuss the business, wherever she's going, this doctor, that doctor, but otherwise that's it. There is an end of the topics. Understand? So I've got to be careful. Okay, what else?
Thank you, Rabbi.
You're welcome.
So our friend says, thank you so much, Kubara.
You're welcome.
I have a question about, okay, so before I started doing tshuva, become religious, I used to have, unfortunately, female friends. That was very, a common thing in the secular world.
Mm-hmm.
So they were, nice people, decent people to me back in the day, and a few years have passed, and of course I don't talk to them anymore, but sometimes they kind of show up and perhaps send a message or whatever, and of course I don't want to talk to them ever again, of course, but I don't know what would be the right way to kind of cut communication with these people. So I was wondering if I'm allowed to consider that women, am I allowed to lie to them and tell them I'm married and that I'm not allowed to talk to them ever again?
No. We're not allowed to lie like this. Yeah, it's Torah says stay away from lies. But sometimes message, you can ignore message and see what happens. You understand? So there was so many I was searching I don't know, just recently to clean my phone, and I saw many communications that my message was the last message, and whether I send a person material to study, or they ask me a question, I give the answer, and 3 months later there is no hello, no thank you, no you saved my life, no I don't want to talk to you, like zero. Like even though I did something good to that person. You understand? So I guess in the world, like for me, it is shocking. So if somebody did something good to you, even though you don't like it, what I would say thank you, and that's it. At least you ask, you initiated the conversation, you got something back. You don't like it, so you say thank you, and that's it. So sometimes, like I would go to the store and whatever, I feel like I cannot go like leave the store and not to buy. So I buy something, whatever, just to not to leave empty-handed. Whatever, whatever. I'm trying not to go to the store again, but but in general. You understand? But even if they sell you something that you don't like, and like sometimes the people pressure, so you say thank you, buy, you say thank you, and then never come back. But at least like something. So I saw so many people, or they would reply. The guy I did analysis like whatever his life basically, right? It's in I don't know, like very long message, what to do, what not to do, this and that. And he just replied, and he read it right away, and he just replied like today, whatever, with whatever, unrelated to my message, basically. And I just checked, it was two weeks later. Like, so what I'm trying to say, so just ignore it and see what happens. Maybe they're going to leave you alone. Maybe they're going to forget. Because that's how I see, like it's what I'm trying to see with all of this like introduction. There's normal for other people just to ignore your messages. You understand? So see what happens. But lie, no, do not lie.
Thank you, Rabbi.
You're welcome.
I have a couple questions. Let me check if there's. I don't see so far more questions on the board.
Okay.
No. So if a Jewish soul reincarnates in a non-Jewish body, so up until the moment this person converts back to Judaism, during this time that the person is still like a non-Jew, is he judged for his sins as a non-Jew as well?
So just so we know, so most likely that that person has a Jewish soul, most likely that was born as a punishment in a non-Jewish body, and now he's forced to, like, not forced, no, it's a freedom of choice, but he has this a strong urge to convert, right? Of course, since he did not know, yes, he would be judged as like all of the logical things, yes.
Sorry, so logical meaning what kind of things, like?
Logical, there's logical things, so I'm going to explain. So you have like common sense things. You have 7 laws of Noah, right? But they actually expand in like 54, I think, like topics. And all of them, even though they're not part of the 7 laws. For example, respect your parents is not part of 7 laws of Noah, right? But logically, it's you must respect your parents, and logically, like a common sense, you have to be appreciative for whatever people who did something good to you. You understand? And all it's logical not to cheat people, right? And cheat meaning not only on money. So it says do not steal, but even do not steal the mind of the person, right? What does it mean? It means that they steal the mind of the person. For a Jew, for example, in Halachos says that a Jew is not allowed to sell a non-Jew meat, right? There is a treifa, right? So what is treifa? Meaning that they did the slaughtering correctly, right? But when they open up this, like probably the lungs, with the digestive system, there are many points when things can go wrong, and then of course these things are not visible from outside, of course, right? So this meat is not allowed for a Jew, even though it was ritually slaughtered. So a Jewish the butcher is not allowed to sell it to a non-Jew at discount price. It's not like as a price of kosher meat. Forget about this. This for 100% cheating, even for a price of regular non-kosher meat. Said, you're not my non-Jewish friend, neighbor. I want to do you like a favor. I want to sell you this a piece of a kosher meat at discount price because you're such a good guy to me, right? Such a nice person to me, right? So you're not allowed to do that. So even for this non-Jew, right? This treifa is permitted. Nevertheless, for him is permitted. There is no problem for him to eat, right? No problem whatsoever. And you're not charging him extra. So if you charge him extra, it's understandable. It's lying. Right? You're not charging him extra. He's not paying extra. He would go to his non-kosher butcher. He would get the same, right? So this 100% forbidden. Right? So it's a common sense. You would not want somebody do it to you. You understand? And stuff like that. Or you go to for a Jew for sure. And another example, you're not allowed to go to the store and ask for prices, right? Or say wife went to I don't know, somewhere in to shop for whatever she went to, right? And you decide, oh, a shoe store. Let me go and check some shoes, right? And you don't have any intention to buy. Instead, you sit down. They take care of you. They bring this size and this side, right? Half a size. This is left. This is right. Then, I give you a 5-star service because why? Because they expect you to buy. You understand? But if you don't you're not anticipate to buy, you're not allowed to do that. It's 100 according to Jewish law. It's 100% stealing, right? According to Shulchan Aruch. So I'm not allowed to do that, right? Because you give him hope, especially shoes business and other retailers. They work for commission. They have a base salary. Implies that they work on commission because why? Because they're going to pay him commission. He's going to run faster to go to the back, bring you size back and forth, be very polite to you. Why? Because you're going to get some commission of you. So you understand. So and when you just turn back, oh, I apologize, my wife is out. I have to go. But thank you very much. Thank you very much, John. You helped me very much. Goodbye. See you. Thank you. You have such a wonderful shoes. So that person is cursed. Not allowed to do that. Okay. So and some other things like buy and then return to the store if you did not have intention to keep it. Stuff like that. So sometimes I also buy and return, but it was many times it was honest mistake. But sometimes I would buy from Amazon because it's cheaper. It's used. So used, whatever Amazon call used, sometimes it's like a scratch box. Who cares? I mean, I'm going to throw this box. A few times I had to return because the things were broken, really broken. But most of the times it's fine. When I recently bought one thing that I thought I'm going to use, but then I see no, I miscalculate. I don't need it, right? But but it was also used. But it was really used. Somebody used it a lot, and they decided to return it, which is not honest. was not honest, and my wife said, okay, we're not going to return this thing because company is going to, even though we never used it and we had no use, at least for now, but we decided to keep it. So for company not to lose money. Understand, with this returns, because it's like bulky and heavy things. I don't know, like even for us to send back is free, but I don't know if they going to lose like 30%. It was discounted to begin with to ship it to us, and right, cost money to send it back, costs money. So like I don't want to come back to this world because of I was trying to be cheap. You understand? And plus, as I said, this thing was somebody used it, really. Okay. So all the things, yeah. So every person is going to be judged like that. Not only like it says 7 laws of Noah, like all of the logical laws. So all of these laws, whatever you don't want to be done to yourself, so you're not allowed to do to others, right? Okay. What else?
Thank you, Rabbi.
You're welcome.
Next question on the board. Question about the weekly parasha. I wonder why Rachel had such an interest in Dudaim. Surely she knew a child can only come from Hashem's blessing. So even if Dudaim is something good for marital relationship, why would she trade, so to speak, time with Yaakov with a flower?
So it is true. So everything comes from Hashem, but it's all we still have to do our shtadlus. Shtadlus is our shrine. So in shrine, something like whatever is like in your power. So if somebody is childless, so they of course they have to go to rabbi, they have to pray this and that, but in the same time you're obligated to go to a doctor and see maybe doctor can help. Okay, but the doctor can help only if Hashem decided to, right? But at least if Hashem decided to, it's going to be look natural in double quotes, of course. You understand? So it's meaning that it's still miracle, but hidden miracle, because we're not Avraham Avinu, Sarah Imenu, that she can get pregnant in the 90s, right? So that's understandable. So that's the answer. We have to do our shtadlus. If there is such a herb exist that can help you with whatever you do, that's what you do. So if you're sick, you need to take medicine, you take medicine. And there are some crazy people. They say we're not going to go to doctors, right? Because we trust in Hashem. And it was a big issue before Corona, maybe 7 years ago. I don't know, like 6-7 years ago, in Israel and here in the States also. That this kind of parents, they did not want to give children shot. I don't remember what was the shot. What was the? I do not remember. But they say because why? Because they can get some like side effects, this and that. But then they calculate the side effects. So people, of course, there were advocates on both sides. But the argument of the parents who did not want the children to get the shot, right? Because we rely on Hashem. Whatever Hashem sends is good. If he decided to kill my child, so he's going to decide to kill my child. If he decided my child is going to live, the child is going to live. But guess what? But other parents also send their children in the same class. And they don't want their children to get sick from you children. You understand? So it's also conflict of hashkafas, right? So in proper way, of course, they went to Rabbi Sternbuch Shlita, right? Moshe Sternbuch, so the biggest rabbi right now in the world. And he said, based on he consulted with scientists, with doctors, they gave him all of the data. So based on this science, he said, yeah, you have to take the shot, because the like probability of people get like the side effects, it's tiny compared to the danger. Right, and I don't remember what some people did. Of course, some people are still their own rabbis who they never going to listen to anybody, of course. But our way is to do ishtadlus. I need to go to a doctor. I need to go to a doctor. I need to do like ishtadlus. So, for example, I was sick all of this time, still a little sick. So I didn't take this medicine, whatever people take. So I took the herbal medicine, right? This like immune boosting like pills, right, vitamins and stuff like that. That's it. So, but still, it's like I did not drink like cold water and think, no, I'm going to get better. No, it was not. I was doing do what I need to do. Sleep a little more. This honey, all of these things. You understand? So that's why we call it shtadlus. So she knows, Rachel knows about this dudaim. So she took it. The thing is that she was punished for the language that she used. So she said, instead of this dudaim, let my husband lay with you tonight. That was very, very like inappropriate language to talk about tzaddik. Right, that he's been intimate with his wife. It's like Gan Eden, right? It's Kodesh HaKodeshim. So she should not have say it. And as they say, as a punishment, she did not lay with him in Machpelah, right? I mean, she was buried somebody else, but of course punishment. But we know that her being in that buried in that place, it's like a huge deal for the Jewish people until today. You understand? So when we were going to the Babylonians, so it was planned. So to say that she was punished, yes, she was punished, but because of this. But it turned out like she's the holiest of the holiest, Mother Rachel. Okay. So many things like stories you cannot judge on the cover. You have to go deep inside and see what exactly happened. Okay, go ahead. What else?
Thank you, Rabbi.
You're welcome.
Next question says, Rabbi, I heard before that the time of Yaakov was the only time one could marry sisters, not before and not after. Can the Rab please expand on that?
The only time to marry sisters. So the question is how Yaakov, or why Yaakov married two sisters. That's the bottom. I mean, yeah, that's the first question, I would say, right? So first of all, he did not intend to marry sisters. He intended to marry Rachel, right? Or only one girl, and then he was strict. We know the story by Lavan, so he ended up marrying two sisters. But according to a Torah, so you're not allowed to marry two sisters. It's one of the arguments, like when sages discuss when the Judaism started from Yaakov. Like it says that our patriarchs, right, Abraham, Isaac, and Yaakov, they kept the whole Torah. Right? It's a famous statement. So it says about Yaakov. So how can you say that he kept the whole Torah if it is forbidden to marry two sisters, like while both of them alive? So you're allowed to marry this sister, a girl, and then she passes, for example, right? So she passes, and you're allowed to marry her sister. There is no problem. But if you divorce somebody, so you're not allowed to marry her sister. Absolutely, that's forbidden. Right, and needless to say, to marry two sisters at the same time, It's forbidden according to the Torah, but it says the explanations were, first of all, it was before giving of the Torah. So all of this, whatever they did was voluntarily, but it was not obligated. And even today, when we do a circumcision, of course we do circumcision to go into bris as Abraham, right, today, but we don't do because Abraham did circumcision. No, we do the circumcision because it's one of the 613 commandments that Moshe Rabbeinu brought from Mount Sinai, not because Abraham did. Of course, there is a connection that because Abraham did, that's a union between us and Hashem, but we do it because of the because Hashem said so. So that's the connection to Yaakov, right? So Yaakov did it before the Torah was given. Was he obligated to keep Torah? Absolutely not, right? And plus, another explanation, it was allowed before the Torah was given and outside of land of Israel. So as we know, as soon as they came into the land of Israel, so very soon Rachel passed, right? So she died in a childbirth, and he had to bury her. And in a Machpelah, in this cavern, so he's buried with Leah only. Rachel is by the road. It's amazing sight if you ever go. So as I said, don't go by yourself. Get yourself tour guide. Usually it's this bulletproof bus, right? And then go. It's beautiful. Stay there. I mean, stay there as much as you want. So of course, local take buses. They do not care. I mean, they cannot afford this. Of course, it's very expensive. I mean, but if you go once in the blue moon, so of course you can afford yourself take a tour, and you can go to Hebron actually to visit Machpelah. Of course, if you go with organized group, so they know exactly when it's open, when it's closed. They're going to get you everywhere as possible and to see in Hebron. So that's big advantage in even if you even if you have car and you can drive there yourself. Okay, so that's that's why Yaakov was allowed, and it was never charged him as a sin that he married two sisters. That's why it was allowed. Okay, what else? Oh, no. One side was said. Second part of the question. Second, so if it was only one time, absolutely not. When we were going down to Egypt with Yaakov, so the question was when we were counting 70 souls, right? So 70 souls when down with Yaakov. So who are these 70 souls? And as you know, as is if you see the chart or something, right? There are no wives of the sons of Yaakov. So how come? Right? Very very interesting. And there are two explanations. Who were the wives of the sons of Yaakov? Right. So one explanation is from a Medrash, is that each son was born with a twin sister. Right, with a twin sister, and they would marry each other's sisters. Okay, each other's sister. Another explanation, they actually married their own sisters. And another explanation, the third explanation, that they actually married the Canaanite women. Right, three different explanations. So did they marry the sister? Yeah. And even if you go by the second version, they marry half sisters. Half sisters meaning anyway they have common father. So according to Jewish law, it's not allowed to marry such a person has two children from first marriage, from second marriage, right? So one boy and one girl, they're not allowed to get married, even though they never saw each other before. Okay, what else?
Thank you, Rabbi.
Welcome.
Next question, Shalom Kabbalah. Given the stories between Yehudah and Tamar, I wonder if prostitution is allowed for goyim.
I don't think so. It's I don't think so. So what category? It's like it's not allowed for a non-Jews, for Jews as well, to be immoral. So and this prostitution is for sure it's immorality.
Thank you, Rabbi.
You're welcome.
So I have a question in regards to this. So when this event between Yehudah and Tamar happened, did Yehudah have like free will back then in that moment? Like, because had it not happened, then they wouldn't have conceived children and so on. But what happened if he would have like restrained himself from doing so?
Okay, go ahead.
So what would have happened if Yehudah would have restrained himself from doing that and not get carried away by his instincts? What would have happened? And
No, that's nothing good would happen because we would not have Mashiach. So it says that just when, so we understand the story, the whole story. I mean, I'm not going to tell the whole story, but just a piece of it. His wife passed away, right, and he was sitting Shiva. I'm not sure how long, even though I learned, but it was only few months after she passed. I don't remember exactly how much. So just so we know, on a side note, a man is allowed to marry 30 days after his wife passed. There's no problem whatsoever, right? You're not obligated to wait a year or so. So as it says, it's not good for a man to be alone. So okay, if he can get married, so he can get married. For example, she was sick like for a very long time. Lolina, you know, understand? So like, and then he found a suitable match. Okay, he can get married. So in this case, Yehudah, basically, of course, we know that he's a very righteous person, and he was walking on the road, and you know the whole story, right? Tamar pretend to be this lady on a crossroads, and her face was covered, right? Why? Because so he would not recognize her. And it says that angel actually pushed Yehudah into his side, into her side, and actually the angel is the one who made him excited. He did not want to, and he was resisting. Like I would say, just ask a question, like Yehudah, like he looks like who is sitting on a cross, or like on a crossroad, like even somebody is sitting, like even somebody is there. So you let's say you're walking, you're driving, you like riding an animal. So you glance quickly, there is somebody there. Okay, so you continue on your way. You're not stare at the people. You're not right. You just continue doing your business, right? But the angel actually pushed him, so that he had a choice. He had a choice, but not so much, because it had to happen. So Hashem sometimes he's very patient, but sometimes this righteousness has to be pushed aside. Because why? Because the bigger miracle is going to happen. Right. So he had a free choice, but not at that specific second. And plus, the thing that he lost his wife, so he was not doing anything illegal. So technically, he could get married, right? And in some sense, it was like a marriage.
Thank you, Rabbi.
You're welcome.
So technically, if Yehudah would have not delayed the marriage between his youngest son, between the marriage between his youngest son and Tamar, this would have not happened,
Yes.
right?
Mm-hmm. But it's a very good point. We have this thing in Judaism is about I don't remember what it was exactly called. There's a wife killer, right? A woman that lives with a man, and then he dies, right? Then she get married again, and then she actually dies, and he dies again. So if all of them, one is 97 years old, right, and he died, okay, right, and second is 87 and a half years old, okay, we understand. But if right, that's understand. That's natural circumstances. She would not be judged in this status, right? But if they all young and strong men, as we know, the sons of Yehudah were I think from 9 to 11 years old. I think for sure before bar mitzvah, both of them, right, and died in a short period of time. So meaning you're not allowed. So that this woman is actually prohibited to get married. Why? Because there is something in her aura to kill people, right? It's not maybe she's doing it for like intent with intention, maybe not. So we had this case in my family actually. So somebody very close to me got divorced, right, and then remarried, and he actually passed. And then when we went to funeral and we spoke to his wife, the last wife, so and then she said, "Yeah, I'm so unlucky." So we start talking, right? And she said that one first husband died, this husband, and this she lived with that person maybe 5 years. I don't remember, like a very short period of time. I mean, I think they were very happy, the way I understand, but happy he had a cancer. Okay, but if he would do investigation, if he would ask Rabbi, I'm not sure if he would listen to the Rabbi. That's a different story. But basically, he would. It would be scary because I don't know how old was she at that time. I don't know. Maybe in her 50s, in the late 40s. I don't know. Maybe late 40s, early 50s. So and by that time she already buried two husbands. So not a good idea to marry such a person. I mean, I did not see anything wrong with her, but just saying halachically. So Yehudah had no right. I mean, as we said, this law was not written there, but it was very scary to give the last son to this lady, especially he was a baby yet. You understand? So of course he did not have intention to give her to her in general, but he could not say it right away. But that's the story about the young son. But one of the opinions, it's actually said, since they were Gentiles in some sense, right? Noachites. So for Noachites is actually permitted even for a father-in-law to do yibum, not only brother. So technically, like according to some opinion, he was actually halachically was able to do it. Allowed to do that. So nobody said that it was not appropriate. Nobody. Go ahead.
Thank you, Rabbi.
You're welcome.
So next question on the board. As far as the marrying of sisters, based on what Kabbalah said, was this also allowed for all goyim before Matan Torah?
I think so. I'm not 100% sure, but I think so, yes. No, one second. Step back. last part presents an issue. This giving of the Torah did not affect non-Jews. The laws of non-Jews were finalized at the Noah, at the time of the Noah. So some laws that affected Jews when Jews received the Torah, it's only Ger Tashaf when about the slaves and stuff like that. I'll think about some but it did not affect them really the whole non-Jewish population. Only in the non-Jews that are going to live in the Eretz Israel when the Jews are living there. That's it. But otherwise, the laws stay the same. That's very important to know. Apologize, I missed it. Could you repeat this question again? I apologize.
Yes. As far as the marrying of sisters.
Okay, sister. Okay.
Based on what Kabbalah said, was this also allowed for all goyim before the giving of the Torah?
Okay, so I thought that we missed. No, we answered the question. Yes. So I think yes, but they have the laws of forbidden relationships are much relaxed for a non-Jews. For Jews are now more strict. There are more restrictions who they're not allowed to marry. Much more restriction, a lot, 2 or 3 times more, I would say. So one of the examples is sister. When one sister passes, when the person divorced one sister, I think for no chatz you can marry another sister. Maybe it would not be proper, should not do it, but forbidden, absolutely not. I don't think so. And I think for a Nochite it is allowed to marry I forgot what is the term. For example, a man has his children from the first marriage. A wife has her children from different marriage. They got together, they move in together. So according to Jewish law, these children cannot marry. But according to non-Jewish law, they can marry. There is no relation. There is no blood whatsoever, right? Mixture. Totally strange people. They can marry. According to Jewish law, they're not allowed. Okay, what else?
Thank you, Rabbi.
You're welcome.
So I have a question in regards to prayers. Is it disrespectful to change the time of our prayers according to the different activities we have to do during the days? If they're not set all the time, then I don't know. Let's say I don't have a specific schedule every time. I have certain set times for prayers, but sometimes it kind of changes. Sometimes I gotta go outside and record some stuff, or sometimes I'm kind of snowed under with work, and I have to pray at different times. Is this disrespectful?
No, I mean, if it's done in a proper time frame, there is no problem whatsoever. The only restriction I would say is that we have you're not allowed to take your personal business before you pray in the morning, right? But otherwise, when once you pray in the morning, some morning it's free, right? So from half an hour after the noon, halachic noon, until the sunset, you have time to pray mincha, whatever is good for you. Okay, just but we're trying to do it as early as possible in order not to miss it, especially in the winter when days are very short. To get busy, get involved in something, it's very, very simple, right? And forget about not even forget, but just miss the opportunity to daven mincha. For example, Marif is easier, but also person get fall asleep and that's it, and wake up in the morning. You understand? Very possible. So we're trying to be very careful. So if you need to change your schedule according to your work schedule, there is no problem. But make sure, especially in the winter, not to miss it. Especially mincha, because it's a very short period of time. Okay, what else?
Thank you very much, Rabbi.
You're welcome.
Next question on the board. I wonder, would King Mashiach be allowed to have multiple wives?
I think so. Yeah. Okay, what else?
Thank you, Rabbi.
You're welcome.
Can I ask one last question?
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah. So I don't know about Ashkenazim, but Sephardic, we have this additional prayers on Monday and Thursday. I don't know if they are the same as Ashkenazim, but there's this part that says something like Hashem, you investigate all the inner parts of the belly, and you look to the kidneys and the heart.
Mm-hmm.
And then I remember, I don't know what specific Tehillah, but David Melech also mentions the kidneys.
Mm-hmm.
So I was wondering, what's the importance, like spiritual importance of the kidneys, so that it has to be mentioned in this special prayers.
Yeah, kidneys is something that tell the truth. So it's like a filter. Kidneys is like a filter. So that's indication of the truth. And it's very, very painful when somebody have kidney issues. And it's everybody say this prayer. So no, Monday and Thursday we read Torah. So it's extended tachanum. Vechurachum, so we say it's Vechurachum, and it starts with a merciful one, right? Etc. etc. So yeah, so it's extra few pages of the prayers. Okay, what else? We said the last question. Okay. So
Thank you very much, Rabbi.
Yeah, any other questions? So you're stuck here. Tell me.
No, there's no more questions on the board, and I don't have any more questions. Thank you very much, Rabbi.
Okay, very good. All right, so thank you very much for learning with us. So tomorrow we continue strong. I know some people celebrate these goyish holidays. Of course, we don't. It's goyim. That's what other people do. We don't do. We learn Torah. Our hukah meaning our like decree of the king. We learn Torah. Same time. We're going to learn Beezrat Hashem, kosher kitchen. Thank you and good night.
Good night.